Loving you, that's all I can do. But is it enough to live on? I'll write you a song to keep our love strong. Will it be enough to live on?
We're here with a couple of friends, and we're just we've been here since like 8:30.
She's the first one in line, by the way. Anything you would want to say to Bernie?
Oh my god, I hope I get to meet you today.
I think he's really awesome. I think he's probably the best candidate to run for president. I think he cares more about the youth in our country than anybody else, the other candidates, and yeah, Bernie's awesome. I love you, Brady. You're awesome, yeah.
I don't know, I think he's a good candidate for 2016. Good luck for being president, I guess.
I think he's going to be bringing a revolution. I'm really ready for it. It's been the same stuff for the last 8 years. Not all of it's Obama's fault. I mean, like, it's, you know, Congress, everybody that's against any Democrat that wants to put something through. And I feel like now that 80% of the seats are up for grabs, I feel like if we can vote in Bernie, we can vote in the right people, he can bring a change to America that we really need.
Would you say to like the Trump supporters to maybe get them on the Bernie side?
Don't be so angry. I mean, there is a reason to be angry, but take some time, take a couple breaths maybe, think about your decision before you actually vote for a guy with a hairpiece. I mean, I feel like Trump and Bernie are like, I don't want to say they're the same thing, but they're both going because they're both kind of mad, but Bernie's showing it in a much better light than Trump is. That's the way I look at it.
You would want to say to Bernie?
Hey man, I think you're a cool guy, and I really hope we can get you in the White House and change us for the better.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say?
It's good. Hi, Mom.
I really like Bernie. I think he's a breath of fresh air. Past few years, it seems like the same thing with politicians, just pandering for votes, and Bernie's out there with a clear goal in mind to get the country back on track to where we should be. I like how he says how it is, and it's the truth, so you can't really refute it or argue it, like Hillary's trying to do. Trump speaks in generalities, he's got big plans, but he's never really said anything concrete on how he wants to get all this done.
Sure. And anything you'd want to say to Bernie?
Bernie, you're the man. I really hope you're our next president.
Awesome.
I think he's awesome. He's very positive, and he really wants to make a change in education in general, and that's why we're here. I have 4 kids. She's one of them, and I know she should go to college because I do whatever it takes to send her to college. But some kids are not as fortunate, you know. So education is the way to go. We love Bernie. He's got momentum, and I think he's gonna be doing all right.
Awesome.
I really like him. I have a Democrat mom and a Republican dad, so I've been looking at all the candidates, and out of everyone, I believe in his views the most. I definitely do not like Cruz or Trump, and from just hearing what my mom said, she's a Democrat and she likes Bernie. This is going to be my first presidential election I'm able to vote in, and I'm really happy that I'm able to vote for him. So, hey, Mom!
Hi, Mom. Oh, well, I just really like his campaign and the support against big money and everything like that, and his tax plans to actually tax the rich and the corporations who are offshores and bring jobs kind of back to this economy, bring it back up to a living wage where the middle class can be the middle class again rather than falling back down into poverty.
Sure, yeah. And, is there like a #1 reason why you like Bernie?
Just his honesty.
If you could meet Bernie, what would you say to him?
I'd just give him a hug and tell him he's awesome.
And what are your thoughts on Bernie then?
Just an honest candidate. Like, that makes a world of difference. Like, if somebody can actually look out for a general public interest, believes in a one person, one vote, has a summarized idea on how people should be treated with a general moral background that has nothing to do with the theistic or economical benefit to him, but instead what should be good for people, that's a good candidate. It has nothing to do with in-depth politics or anything. It's just clear-cut moral values.
Awesome. So, if you could meet Bernie, what would you say to him?
Thanks for sticking to yourself rather than what other people want you to be.
Any last thoughts?
Feel the burn!
Yeah, feel the burn. Go Bernie.
Yeah,
hopefully next president.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on Bernie then?
I got no idea.
If you could meet Bernie, what would you say to him?
I got no idea.
No idea.
A lot of stuff going on. I like how he wants the rich to finally pay their fair share. And I definitely agree with him on that. I like his ideas on helping out with lowering college tuition and the cost for college, because it is extremely hard on people.
It's different for me because right now I'm enlisted in the National Guard, so I think of him as more of my boss than anything. We need to help out more with college, because college right now, even if I wasn't in the National Guard, it would still be very expensive. Like, a couple of my friends are in college and they're already in debt. Even with like a couple $1,000s from their parents, like they're already in debt in college, so that's, to me, outrageous. Just like some of the Trump ideas to me are just like idiotic. He just doesn't seem to be doing it for himself like Trump does, honestly. He seems to be doing it more for the people, and that's what I like. He's not saying like, I think we need to do this, or I think we need to do it like this. He's like, we as the people need to do this for ourselves. And he's brought up very good policies like gun control. Even though I am in the military, like guns are a major thing of the military, weapons. But just like the out-of-handness with gun control is completely unnecessary, of how easily you can attain an assault rifle and use it either in a good way or a bad way, but mostly if you're using an assault rifle as a civilian, it turns out to be in a bad way. So he just has a lot of ideals, and he doesn't seem to be like self-centered on himself, and seems to focus more on the people, honestly. That's why I like him. I hope you get president, because I'm going to be 18 when I vote this November, so hopefully you make the primary elections.
And do I have your permission to put it on YouTube?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. And what are your thoughts on Bernie?
Awesome. He's the real deal. I mean, he's the only one that speaks from, he's got no skeletons in his closet. You know, it's just, he's a safe bet. He's not going to crash and burn, you know, and I feel the burn, it's a good burn.
Yeah. Excellent. What do you think the difference between him and Trump is?
A world.
How far is it halfway around the earth?
Any last thoughts?
I can't say hi, Mom, because rest in peace, but hello, everybody else, and my first time on YouTube.
Awesome. Thanks, man. If you could say one thing to Bernie, what would that be?
I love you.
If you could meet Bernie, what would you say to him?
I'd say, bring your brooms, because it's a mess. And that's what Bernie Sanders is going to do. We're going to clean up America and make America good again.
I think it's pretty cool how me and a lot of people at my school are all really interested, because I know normally during political elections you can't get a lot of interest, but I know the majority of people I know are voting for him, and I think he's really cool because of how he's fighting for the schools and what I'm about to do, so it's really important to me.
Yep. What are your thoughts on Bernie?
Yeah, he's great. I love the guy. He's got like a hell of a personality. But I am very for his, you know, getting the money out of the politics, getting rid of the super PACs, you know, trying to take back the government from, you know, the people who are really screwing us. Sure. If you like research Hillary Clinton at all, you can obviously see how she's willing to change for like just a vote or just to get someone's opinion. And then, you know, also her fans who are like, you know, trying to get the female vote by, you know, saying you deserve a place in hell if you don't vote for Hillary just because she's a woman. I think that's as sexist as voting for her because she's a woman.
Yeah. What do you think about Trump?
Trump, dude, he's a fascist. Yeah. So no.
Awesome. If there's one thing you could say to Bernie, what would that be?
Dude, feel the burn, man. Keep it up.
Any last thoughts?
Man, I'm glad to be here. Even though it's cold, it's cool.
I love Bernie. He's the greatest. I've been following him for over 30 years. Loved how he started out, loved how he was in the middle, love him today, love him to death actually.
Awesome.
The guy's awesome.
You've been following him 30 years. Has he changed much in the 30 years?
His hair seems a little wilder.
How about policies?
No, he sticks to his guns. If anything, he's aged like a fine wine. He's developed. He hasn't changed.
If there's one thing you could say to Bernie, what would that be?
You go!
Any last thoughts?
Vote for Saladino for District 8. That's all in Northeast Wisconsin. Tell your friends. There's people out here who like Bernie, don't want to feed the corporations. We want to represent the people.
Oh,
one, he seems to be an honest person, and for two, he's the only non-Christian candidate that's talking about helping the poor and also giving to the needy.
If you had a favorite part about Bernie, what would that be?
His integrity, because unlike other candidates who take money from people, he takes money from us, so he's beholden to us. He's not held by any special interest group. He's not really accountable to anyone that isn't the direct people, which is what the government was made for. We the people, for the people, by the people. You go to TC? Okay. You look like my friend Adam.
We'll start with your name, please.
Cassius Clay.
Cassius Clay. And what are your thoughts on Bernie?
Right now I'm actually an undecided voter, so I just wanted to come out and check out the rally and see what he has to say, rather than just go based off the mainstream media and just hearsay what everybody else has to say. Right now I'm thinking possibly him or Trump at this point.
Okay.
I'm not really trying to go for the established candidates. We really need a change in the powers as far as the government. I'd say over the last 12 to 16 years, it's been nothing but heartache and pain for the American people. And right now, we need a candidate that's going to step up, clean up house. You know, let's get rid of all the corruption. And the main point that I like about Bernie is he's bringing attention to the fact that you got these super PACs and all these people putting in money in the campaigns and pretty much buying the presidency at this point. So right now, we need somebody that's going to actually make the change and not pander to them or cater to them and what they want. The United States of America is not the United States of the 1%, basically. You know, it used to be about 20, 30 years ago, it was great to be an American. We were #1 superpower. And then now all of a sudden, everybody hates the West, mainly us. You know, and it's not to get into an Islamic phobe scare, but you know, look at Europe right now. They're letting all these migrants come in. You just had Brussels get blown up at the airport and the train center or whatnot, but they found the guy that did the same thing over in France, you know, in a little ghetto over there. So I mean, what's really going on? That's what I want to know. So I mean, between Bernie and Trump right now, they're looking to be the better candidates for my vote.
Any last thoughts?
Go vote. Go vote. You know, a lot of people are saying, well, my vote doesn't count. It seems like it at this point. You know, you got these super delegates and they're possibly going to a broker convention on the GOP side. And it's just like, you know, if you don't make your voice heard, if you don't give an opinion, you know, you have nothing to say after the fact.
So who are you voting for?
I'm voting for Ted Cruz. My thoughts on Bernie Sanders is that he's an honest candidate who's working for the people. He has a proven record going way back to like the 60s pretty much, and that's an honest candidate, is somebody who I want to support as an American. I want somebody who's going to be supporting the people of America, not a corporation or a business or anybody else. I want somebody who's a candidate of the people, for the people. I think, well, Donald Trump is an interesting person. He hasn't been a politician for long. He's been a businessman for so long. But I think that the thing about Donald Trump is that he's been outside of it for so long, and now he's kind of coming in to politics. I don't think Trump is as bad as people make him out to be. His rise makes sense right now with the divide between the parties. People want somebody who's not from the parties, who's outside of it. The Republicans have had bad candidates between Bush, McCain, Romney, so they want somebody who's not a politician, as Donald Trump is not. So I mean, he doesn't have a long political record, and he's, as I said, Bernie has a proven record. Donald Trump flips back and forth, but I think that's because he has to align with the Republican Party to run as a Republican. I can understand why somebody would support Donald Trump. I can understand why somebody would support Bernie Sanders. I think the one thing that would make Donald Trump supporters come to Bernie Sanders would be if the Republican Party screws over their candidate with how it's looking, like they're trying to push for Ted Cruz. And I think Bernie Sanders would be a real solid candidate to switch to, because while you have a lot of dissatisfaction with your party, and I think that would, if you don't support Ted Cruz, then Bernie Sanders is there. I think he's the one that you want to support then. If something I could say to Bernie, keep on keeping on. Keep on, don't take money from PACs, don't take money from corporations like you're doing, and thank you so much for what you're doing for us.
I think he's incredible. He's like, his Like equal rights, that's just, there's so many people that just don't have the same ideas of it. He's been working on it for decades and decades, and his opinions haven't changed on it or anything.
He's really stuck to what he believes in, and I just think in general he's a really good guy. He's truthful and he doesn't lie like a lot of the other candidates have been.
He's not trying to use like ulterior like motives, like try and gain voters. He's just like being truthful and like doing what he can and like showing America like what he'd actually be like as president.
It's Lolita fashion from Japan.
And what are your thoughts on Bernie?
He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like getting money out of politics, and I like his sort of socialist standpoint on healthcare and education, and I like that he's very conscious of people who don't have the same opportunities as richer people, or, you know.
Sure. If there's one thing you could say to Bernie, what would that be?
Be my grandpa. That's the other thing too, he's really cool, he's really down to earth, he doesn't seem like somebody you can't talk to.
And what are your thoughts on Bernie?
I respect Bernie very much for what he stands for. I feel like when he talks, he actually has weight in his words, because he's proven it, you know, many times. He doesn't go back in his words. He doesn't feel like he's trying to sell you something. You know, most politicians out there, they when they talk to you or when they talk to to the audience, it feels like they have some other motives behind what they're doing. So
yeah,
Hillary, they've caught her too many times, you know, just lying, and you know, when she tries to prove a point, they always bring a video of her saying the opposite. Same with Trump, you know, always changing his minds. For Trump supporters out there, please look up more information about the guy you're actually following. That's what I believe in, my thoughts, and I hope you guys, you know, choose who you think is best, but hopefully vote for Bernie Sanders.
I think that he's what this country needs right now. I think it's the only way for change.
I think America needs to keep up with the rest of the world, so I'm jumping on a train that's planning for a future.
We need to be a progressive country, and all of his ideas are very progressive and forward-thinking, and we're just tired of living in the past with people just full of hate and anger, and let's get together and love each other and support each other.
We love you, Bernie! So many things I want to say to him. Thank you for following our value system. He's been fighting for a lot of years, and we need to recognize what he's done for this country.
He's a great guy. I think out of all of the political candidates, he's the one that has like true integrity. I always generally have a big distrust of politicians, and he's somebody that, you know, I truly stand behind, that I can trust with my vote, leading our country. I wasn't at the Appleton rally, but from what I hear, because I'm from Appleton, Wisconsin, and it was filled up 4 or 5 blocks of just people, Bernie supporters all over the place. And you know, this is a guy that was not receiving any media coverage. You know, people just wanted to brush him off, like, oh, this guy is a joke, you know, just not even giving him the coverage that he deserves. And now it's unavoidable. He's risen up. Just glad to be here. Glad to actually see him in person, and you know, spread the love.
My thoughts on Bernie: I just really like that he doesn't have his hands in big money. I think all the other candidates by far kind of are in the palm of the billionaires and in the palm of the big businesses, and he is for the people, and I think that's super important. He's kind of always had the same views, and he knows what he's talking about. Feel the burn!
I support Bernie Sanders because his character clearly projects growth and opportunity for humanity as a whole, opposed to just particular groups of people. So I think he just wants us to grow, and I think that would be really great leadership for America, because we're kind of diminishing quickly. It's nice to be personal with people, but to look at someone and just know you want them to grow as an individual, opposed to what's going on with them. I think that's my favorite part about Bernie Sanders.
It's a different world that we live in today, and people need to wake up and realize that the Republican Party today
is socialism for the rich. They'll say free trade, this or that, they know business. Wall Street doesn't have our best interest in hands. They'd rather build a bigger skyscraper for themselves, have a different yacht. Just hopeful and hoping that it energizes the Wisconsin public to go out there and vote. It really truly matters, you know, with the super delegate count and the unfairness that the media is portraying. I mean, they're wanting to anoint Hillary ordain her as the leading candidate from the start, and that's truly not right. So I'm just really hopeful it energizes the base to get out there, vote, and canvass. But I would have to say that instead of dropping bombs, let's drop, American ideology, our true liberties, what our founding fathers built this nation on, being peace, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, freedom, truly, from aristocracy, from plutocracy, from demagoguery. Donald Trump, the leading presidential candidate on the Republican Party, I mean, Bernie Sanders knows this, we all know this. He's spewing hate and fear and controlling people with entertainment and bullshit. And it's a lot like the Romans did with the Colosseums, you know, let's just create as much blood and carnage and divide people. And so I tell Bernie to spread love, which he's already doing, but to not just, to build this country strong, but to show the rest of the world through our Peace Corps, through different actions of love and charity and building up the world. That's how we make ourselves stronger too.
I really love Bernie because I've been waiting all my life for a politician that actually had integrity and somebody who understands that the function of their position in government is to improve life for all Americans. And I think Bernie's plans are really focused on benefiting the majority of Americans and not just a few at the top. Whenever you have large groups of people who see life good for everybody else, but they don't have access to the same kind of education resources or meeting their basic needs, of course there's going to be pushback. Of course, eventually there's going to be pitchforks and torches. I think FDR really was able to take that discontent of his time to the people at the top and say we need to change. And I think Bernie sees that need as well, and I think Bernie can bridge the gap between where we are and where we need to get to in order to keep our society positive and growth and good for everybody. I think Bernie really understands that. That's why I can't vote for Hillary. It's because, she doesn't see the same problems in our society that I see. She's a part of that elite caste. And so she doesn't have the same values, the same decision matrix that Bernie has. I mean, Bernie's total net worth is what, $350,000? Whereas the Clinton Foundation alone, while Hillary was Secretary of State, they took in millions and millions of dollars. I think the Clintons are complicit in the damage that's been done over the last 20 years, and I just don't see her changing things for the better. But Bernie's the man to do that. Like, he's been fighting. I've seen, Bernie's been on picket lines. Bernie's been in the trenches with the people.
I think politics now are similar to the 60s, where things are changing very quickly.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's cyclical because, so you've got like little changes and big changes, and if the little changes don't fix the problems, then the problems get bigger. And so big problems mean big solutions, and I think that we're at a point where we need big solutions, and I think Bernie brings that to the table. Everybody's got a shot. Everybody has the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and I think that has been taken away from the vast majority of people, and I think Bernie's the man to get it back.
And I'm breathing in the fumes, but the lack of oxygen feels good. I'm living the American dream. Hey! And I'm missing you, working all day. It's never enough to live on. I don't know why I should, 'cause I still feel real good. That must be enough.
Bernie Sanders, Senator for President.
If you lost my friend, well, follow my tracks. And I'm green.
Young people know they are the future of our country, and they are going to help shape that future.
But the light.
If you don't have the guts to participate in free, open, and fair elections, get out of politics, get another job.
Of oxygen.
What they mean by family values is that our gay brothers and sisters should not have the right to be married. I disagree.
I'm living the American dream. Hey! Hey!
They're too busy doing video games or whatever they do.